Are you a learner or a new driver still finding it difficult to change the car gears? That is the manual car gears. Come forward, come forward. This video is for you. Hi everyone, I'm Onye and I live in Italy. For those that will be wondering if people still drive manual cars, yes, people still drive it. Here in Italy, where I live, most people drive manual cars and also learn with the manual cars, I inclusive. So recently, I've seen videos of people on social media complain about how difficult it is to change gear, how they are finding it difficult. And also, when I was checking my channel's algorithms, I found out that I got the most subscriber from a video I made, how to get your Italian driver's license. I got my most subscribers from there. I said, okay, let me come and share the little knowledge I have about the gear. I've driven for more than 5 years now, so I can tell you the little thing I know about changing of gears. All right, let's dive into it. So one thing you should know about the gear is that it determines the movement of the car. It determines how fast and how slow the car moves. Because it is a manual car, you are the one to tell the car to move fast or to move slowly. That's why we have the gear 1 to gear 5, or in some cases gear 6 in some cars. So you are the one to tell the car to move fast or to move slow. That's why it is a manual car. The first step on how to know how to change your gear is knowing the positions of the gear. Knowing where gear 1 is, how to put it, the gear 2, the gear 3, the gear 4, and the gear 5, even gear 6, and also the reverse, knowing how to put it. That is the first step to knowing how to change your gear, so that when your instructor tells you to put gear 1, you put it, gear 2, you put it. So that is the first step to knowing how to change your gear. Knowing the position of the gear is the first step. The next step to knowing when to change your car gear is by the sound of the car. Yes, I know this one will be difficult, might be quite difficult for learners or new drivers who are still trying to gain the steering control. But knowing the sound of the car, will guide you in knowing when to change your car gear, both gearing up and gearing down. See, I know when you are driving, your instructor will be telling you to change the car gear. Be attentive to the sound the car makes before your instructor tells you to change your car gear. When you move your car, the sound of the car will be going up. It will be going up in high pitch, like vo. At a point, your instructor will tell you, change the gear. If you are in gear 1, he will tell you to change to gear 2. So if you can, be attentive to the sound the car makes before your instructor tells you to change the position. It is very necessary to know the sound your car makes. Whether you are using a car you are driving at home or the car at the driving school, just know the sound the car makes. When you move your car with gear 1, it will start going up. The sound of the car will be going up in high pitch. Even if you leave it, it will continue, but at some point, that sound will remain constant, telling you to change your car gear. So be attentive to the sound your car makes. It will guide you. When you slow down the car, instead of going high, the sound will start slowing down. At a point, it will just become faint, as if the car wants to go off. It is telling you to change your car, like to gear down. If you are in gear 3, it is telling you to change to gear 2. And when you move to gear 2, one thing with the sound of the gear is once you put the right gear, the car sound normalizes. So that's why you have to be attentive to the sound your car makes. If you are in a right gear, just by listening to the sound of the car, you will know. If you are not using the right gear, you will also know. So be attentive to the sound the car makes when your instructor or anybody teaching you is telling you to put the right gear, to put the next gear, whether gearing up or gearing down. So knowing the sound of your car will guide you in knowing when to change your car gear. Then the next step, this one I'm about to say, is the best of all. This one will also help you in knowing the sound of your car. So this one is the best of it. That is the RPM of the car. The RPM of the car will guide you in knowing when to change the gear. What is the RPM? RPM is the revolution per minute of the car. Where is it? Is at the dashboard. When you look at your dashboard, you will see the speed limit and also the round. You will also see the RPM of the car. I'm going to put it here so that you will see it. The RPM is measured in 1000. In that RPM, they will write it like 1000 RPM. It is measured in 1000. So in that RPM, it is written like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one is representing like 1000, 2, 2000, 3, 3000. So the RPM of the car will also guide you in knowing when to change your gear. When you move your car, as the speed limit is going up, is going high, the RPM also is going up. When you move your car with gear 1, be looking at your RPM, it will be going up. I don't know if I can like practicalize it. I don't know how I'm going to record it, but just know this thing I'm saying, like the theory part. If I can't, if I do it, I can put it here, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I can do it, yeah. But when you move your car, the RPM of the car will be going up. When it's at 2000, that is 2 or above 2, it is time to change your car gear. And by then, the sound of the car is already pitching high. That's why you have to be attentive, because this step, this RPM, will also guide you in knowing the sound required to change your gear, because you will not be looking at your RPM all the time. That's why you have to be attentive to the sound of your car, but the RPM will guide you in knowing the sound required to know when to change the gear. So once your RPM reaches like 2000 or above 2000, for me, I always tell new drivers or new learners to be above 2000, because because they are still slow in changing your gear. And maybe if you change it like at 2000 RPM, and when you are slow, the speed limit might have dropped and it will no longer be required for that particular gear that you changed. So I always tell new drivers and learners, let your RPM be above 2000 before you change your gear. So be attentive at the RPM of the car, whether you are gearing up or gearing down. As a new driver or a learner, this RPM is the best of it. Your instructor will not tell you this, so be telling me thank you in the comment section. So knowing the RPM of the car will guide you in changing your gear, whether you are gearing up or gearing down. So I've said about gearing up. When it is above 2000, you change your gear. Like if you're in gear 1, you change it to gear 2 when you are gearing up. If once you change it to gear 2, the sound of the car normalizes. The RPM of the car will be like between 1000 or 15 RPM. Once you put the next gear. When you want to slow down, or maybe you are slowing down, you will see the RPM as the speed limit is dropping, the RPM too is dropping. And when the RPM is at 1000, that is 1, it is time to change your gear. Some people will say maybe below 1, which is also true, but when you leave the car below 1, it will start shaking. It will start shaking. So I always tell people, let it be at 1. When it's at 1, you gear down. If you're in gear 3, you change to gear 2. So knowing the RPM of the car we get, this was what helped me when I was struggling with the gear. Immediately I learned about this RPM. Even I went to school that time to drive, my instructor was praising me. So knowing the RPM of the car will guide you in knowing when to change your gear. I've heard some people say speed limit. I don't recommend speed limit. Why? Because cars are different. Car engines are different. Some car have big engines, while some car have small engines. When I was learning how to drive, the car I used in school and the car I was using at home, they were completely different. My gear 3 with the car I'm using at home is gear 4 with the car I was using in school. So I don't recommend speed limit. Knowing the RPM of the car is the best. It will not only guide you in knowing when to change the gear, it will also help you to know the sound your car makes, the pitch the car reaches before you change your gear. Yes, like I said before, you will not be looking at the RPM of the car all the time. So that RPM will also guide you in knowing the sound the car makes, telling you that it is time to change the gear, whether it is gearing up or gearing down. I hope you've learned one or two in what I've just shared. We know the sound of your car and the RPM of the car. It will guide you in knowing when to change your gear. All right. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like, and also comment. And also, if you have any question about maybe the car gear, you can also comment it so that maybe I will answer you in the comment section if I know it. All right, guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.